Hey there, this is Mark, and I have Joe Goode here with me of Joe Goode Performance Group. And I was a member of Joe Goode Performance Group from 1996 until 2004, which is now 13 years ago. Crazy.
Wow.
And we're in the Joe Goode Annex. This did not exist back when I was in the group, but he has this beautiful rehearsal space, and ran into Joe some months back and said, "Would you do a reading with me?" And he said, "Yes." So it's just taken a little time with his schedule to get here, but we made it. So we're doing the reading together from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. Joe knows the rules. Went through it with him. We just look at the date, the reading from the date, and then share spontaneously. And today is May 30th. The topic is, at least you should know why you are not seeing God. Once a young man went to Sri Ramakrishna and said, "Sir, I want to see God right away." Sri Ramakrishna said, "Before you see God, we will go to the Ganges so you can take a bath." He took the young man to the Ganges and said, "All right, dip." But when he dipped into the water, Sri Ramakrishna held him under. Immediately, the devotee started fighting for his breath. When the saint realized that he would not be able to stay under the water any longer, he let him up. As the young man stood gasping on the riverbank, Sri Ramakrishna asked him, "What were you thinking while you were in the water? Were you thinking of your money, your life, your wife, your son, your name, your fame, your profession?"
All I was thinking about was the little air. Aha! When you can think of God like that, you'll see Him right away. Now you know what kind of one-pointed yearning for God is required. I don't expect everyone to get to that point right away, but at least you should know why you are not seeing God. You can't blame anyone else for it. Although sometimes people try to. They blame the technique or the teacher or the mantram. You really don't even need any technique, any mantram, anything, if you have that kind of one-pointed mind.
Well, what's your take on God? I always find that's interesting to...
Yeah, I think, for me, I shudder a little because I'm afraid of the heavy religious connotation, but I think of it as a kind of real connection to your kind of universal self.
Mm-hmm.
The self that is part of a big picture, and a small part, a speck. And I find that very comforting, actually. And I could imagine how being underwater and feeling that you were maybe going to expire makes you feel that speckness, that fragility, that tiny. It's all so tenuous and so tender and so fragile.
You become really present to that. Anything else, the things we worry about, we stress about, that all goes away, and you just realize at one moment it could all just vanish. Mm-hmm. Our life is just this little blip. Maybe.
And the one-pointedness, to me, if you think of like a pointillist painting, one point is that's the present of that moment. You can't be before it or after it or lingering in what it was, but you have to be in that point.
That's beautiful. Have you thought of that before?
I've heard of that? I've heard a lot about that.
That's pretty cool. I hadn't heard of that. I like that.
I like the idea that you don't have to have a mantram or a technique. And I say that a lot about art. Like, technique is not the most important thing. The most important thing is to just kind of be there, be revealed, be human, be your full, tender, broken self. And that's what makes you so unique and alive.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like that. I was thinking of that too, the creative energy that becomes that laser point focus of your attention, and how when I was dancing with you, how much we would work on those pools of material, and we would just be focusing on that little speck of the whole piece. We didn't even know where it was going to go. Maybe sometimes you didn't either.
Most of the time.
But that was the beauty of it. We just got to experience and explore those in their fullest, to find the detail, the information, and how that could then begin to inform a larger picture. And that's such a good metaphor. And it has been for me in life, just to see how when we focus on our little pool of information, how can we contribute to the larger picture? And that's part of even for this process for me doing these readings. It's just, I'm in a way this insignificant person doing these little readings from this, but it's creating something in me that's welling up with a desire to want to be part of something larger. And when we would perform, there it is, and it's all out for the world to see. And so, yeah, I think
I recently did I heard a Dharma talk where this lovely Buddhist teacher said kind of repeatedly, the body is the doorway to the present moment. That there's no other way to get there. You have to pass through the doorway of the body. And certainly for a performer, somebody who wants to be present in a physical moment, that's really key. But just as a liver of life, if you can bring it back to your body, which is, I think, the underwater thing again is a good, you're in the present moment. You're absolutely in that moment. And yeah, I think that's, I don't know, I've just been using that lately in my mind when I feel stressful, or when I feel anxious about meeting deadlines, and I kind of check in with my body and go, how does my body feel? How can I allow it to feel differently or better? And getting in that present body moment is a huge solution for not being projected into the future, or not, lingering in the past.
It's funny how sometimes it takes that pressure or that intense moment, like being dunked underwater or having a deadline or having something that puts that pressure on, that helps you reach that revelation. And I think that there's something to that. So I like this, whether it's true or not, but even as a metaphor, that a guru would know to do that, use that, that person's body as the vehicle to wake up. And I think in a way that's what you did to us in some ways, like kind of dunked us under and said, all right, make something happen. And then we would. But it was actually this beautiful process that you almost have to go to your edge, to really tap into something that lets your heart burst open and find what that true longing and true yearning is, whether it's for God or for truth or for that truest expression that is a universal message. And that, again, so much of what your work is about is the personal speaking about the universal. So thank you.
Thank you. Are we done?
Well, unless you have we can spend one more moment if you have a last.
I was just going to say, something about nature.
Yeah.
That I always find that when I go into nature, there's always that moment where you almost fall in the creek, or you, you trip, or the tree stump can't be gotten over. There's always that moment of like danger, of the precipice. But then you're kind of open to the experience of where you are in a different way, and I don't even know what I wanted to say about that, but I find that is part of the beauty of being in nature, is that unpredictability, and that there is going to be a moment of, how do I do this?
Yeah, and you have to think of it right in the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's that unexpected thing. You may trip, you may fall, lose your balance, and that's when you have to. I like that too.
Okay.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Joe. At least you should know why you are not seeing God. That's interesting. So let that be something to ponder. And I'm so grateful I had this time with Joe, and I look forward to getting to do this again, because I was just saying to Joe, I'm not even halfway with these readings. So we'll see where this goes. He's got a home season next month, and I'm hoping for some of the other company members to be a part of this. Hint, hint. So thank you so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow.